Andrew Giles is holding on by a thread, even as fresh claims of departmental failure emerge daily. The latest this morning, courtesy of The Australian, that a serial rapist who assaulted 26 women and children kept his visa as a result of Andrew Giles' catastrophic push to give more leniency to foreign-born criminals with ties to Australia. Joining us live now is our Wednesday morning panel, Labor MP Julian Hill and the Liberal MP Keith Wallahan. Good morning to you both. Julian, we'll start with you. By what measure is Andrew Giles actually doing well?
Look, I'll refer to the substance of what you just introduced there and what the opposition dealt with in Parliament yesterday. These crimes are utterly abhorrent, and these people have rightly been convicted and jailed of crimes. We have every empathy for the victims involved, and I think that would be universally held across the Parliament. But let's be very clear what the opposition are doing here. This is exploiting this situation for more fear, more anger, more negativity, because that's all they've got to offer.
But that doesn't change the fact that it's happened.
To offer. And I'll go back over yet again, as the Minister did yesterday in Parliament. He answered every single question sensibly and calmly. Ministerial Direction 99 did not and does not decrease the weight placed on factors such as protecting the community from crime. That's an inconvenient fact for the opposition, but it's a fact. It's also a fact that if the AAT are misapplying the rules or not meeting community expectations, it has always been the job of the department to advise the Minister. And I'll just read the quote from last night. I don't want to verbal her and get the words wrong. The Home Affairs Secretary at Senate estimates last night, it's not in the print papers today, said the department failed to meet its obligations and had not informed the Minister visa cancellations had been reversed by the AAT. The department's rightly fixed the process, and the Minister has rightly said he's now urgently reviewing these decisions.
Your response, Keith?
Well, my response is that in question time yesterday on the media, including here this morning, what we're being told, and Australians are being told, is that the responsible minister is not responsible. That's not an answer. Minister Giles, he has the title, he has the pay, he has the office, he has the staff. And January last year, his signature is on Direction 99. I urge your viewers to Google it. It's a 24-page document, and it very clearly sets out the criteria that should link the connection to Australia. That's what's different about this. It replaced a previous direction. Now, either he signed that not knowing what he was doing, or he did. And either way, he's accountable, he's responsible. And this isn't acceptable. Question time is the point where we ask questions to the ministers and they give accurate answers, and we haven't got those from this minister.
Yeah, and so that's right. He has to be accountable. Does he not, Julian?
Well, he answered, as I said, every single question yesterday, calmly and sensibly. And sure, go and read the ministerial direction that we're all talking about, and it makes absolutely clear it has not decreased the weight placed on factors such as protecting the community from crime. If the AAT are misapplying the rules, the department needs to advise the Minister, which they've now admitted they failed to do, and they will do. But I mean, this is peak hypocrisy to take lectures. Keith talks about ministerial accountability. Where's Peter Dutton's accountability when he was Home Affairs Minister for letting criminal syndicates, human traffickers misuse the migration system, as 4 independent reports have shown? Where's Peter Dutton's accountability? He doesn't want to answer this question. He personally granted a visa to one of those former detainees who bashed that poor woman in Perth. He doesn't want to answer that. He's never accounted for his decisions. He doesn't want to talk about 100,000 fake asylum seekers who arrived by plane under Peter Dutton's watch and the Liberals, and he did nothing about it. He doesn't want to talk about his failures in nearly a decade in ministerial office in the former government. He wants to exploit these horrible crimes that people have rightly been jailed for his own political gain, for negativity, for anger, and because he hasn't got a single positive plan to offer. They don't want to talk about cost of living. They don't want to talk about housing. They don't want to talk about inflation coming down. They don't want to talk about Labor's cost of living tax cuts. They just want more fear, anger and negativity because they have nothing positive to offer Australia.
Keith, you want to respond on Peter Dutton's behalf there?
I do, because hearing that from
So
Julian...
you're going to explain why he gave the former detainee a visa?
Let's go,
never
Keith,
explained it. Do you want to explain that, Keith?
Yeah, no, I think it is. Well, if hearing that from Julian, you would think that the Labor Party are in opposition, and they're probably quite an effective opposition. That's the problem here. They have never made the transition from the lines that Julian has just given to being responsible. They are in government. They are the ones making decisions. They are the ones accountable. They are the ones responsible. And when we're asking them to be responsible not just to us as the opposition, but responsible to the Australian people, they are found wanting. And in the most serious way, it's about keeping Australians safe. This just isn't good enough. It's farcical.
You're putting yourself forward as the alternative government of the country, and you won't answer questions about your failed decade in office.
Speaking of alternatives, can I just say, Julian, you've answered questions better than Andrew Giles has. So are you happy to have him there in that position, that key position?
That's a good point.
I'm not playing that game. I know the game. It's the game we play with backbenchers on the television. I understand the game. But I'll make the point again. Andrew Giles and the Home Affairs Minister, Andrew Giles and the Home Affairs Minister have spent the last 2 years cleaning up the most shocking mess. I chair the Audit and Finance Committee. I've seen the impacts of the massive cuts to the Home Affairs budget that Peter Dutton and the Liberals imposed. The department was structurally underfunded, which we fixed in this year's budget, and it was like a smokescreen. He'd go out there and play the tough guy and beat his chest and tough on crime and tough on the borders. You look behind the curtain, there was no enforcement being done in Home Affairs.
Yeah.
The Minister is cleaning up that mess and deserves credit for the progress that we've made in cleaning up
Andrew Giles' mess. That's what he's trying to do this
time. Yeah. Julian didn't answer the question as well. You happy to have him there as immigration? Just quickly before we go, Julian?
I work very closely with Andrew. I've known him for years. He was a migration lawyer. He's a terrifically talented person, and he's cleaning up the department.
You're happy to have him there?
I deal with him.
Okay.
I deal with him multiple times a week.
That doesn't mean you want him there.
Absolutely. Well, funnily enough, I'm going to let you in on a secret here. Okay. I don't appoint ministers. I know that would be shocking, but I'm going to give you the same answer. If you want to go through the whole cabinet,
all right, should the Prime Minister keep him
we'll get the same answer. What's the matter for the Prime Minister, isn't it? I mean, we're going around in statements that are bleedingly obvious. But anyway, it's Wednesday morning.
Julian, Keith, great chat as always. We'll talk to you again next week.